Philosopher Kendrick Lamar said, "Why you trolling like a bee? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, but it's probably A minor." And that song went straight to the top of the charts. Currently on Spotify, They Not Like Us has over 900 million with an M streams. The song was bumping everywhere. Across the country, people have been writing in my comment section on other platforms that the song was playing in Japan. They were bumping the song in Colombia, bumping the song across the world. And now we see these two legal actions filed by Drake. Let's get into the discussion of these two legal actions. So number one, did Drake sue Universal Music Group? Did Drake sue Kendrick Lamar? Did Drake sue iHeartRadio? No, Drake didn't sue anybody yet. What we see in these legal filings, and let's bring up the first one here. If you look here, it differs from a lawsuit because a lawsuit will typically say, right, it'll say Aubrey Graham versus so-and-so, but you don't see that here. It says petitioner, and it says requesting depositions of iHeartMedia and UMG recordings. And I don't want to go ahead and file the lawsuit yet because I don't have all of the evidence. So what I'm going to do is file this pre-suit deposition, letting you know why I think I do have enough to eventually file a lawsuit, but I don't have enough information yet, so I need to do further investigation. What really struck me about this, and I feel like it had to be so embarrassing, is you see Drake talking about how successful They Not Like Us was as a song. Like, look at this right here. Before it approved the release of the song, UMG, Universal Music Group, knew that the song itself, as well as its accompanying album art and music video, attacked the character of another one of UMG's most prominent artists, Drake, by falsely accusing him of, and I know this hurt to type this, I know Drake was hurt when he had his lawyers type this up, being a blank offender, engaging in PDF file acts, harboring ex-offenders, and committing other criminal actual acts. Specifically, the song called Drake a certified PDF file, a predator, and someone whose name should be registered and placed on Neighborhood Watch. Look at how UMG marketed the song. According to one inside source known to petitioner, UMG made covert payments to a number of platforms, including radio stations, to play and promote Not Like Us, without disclosing those payments to listeners. Bots to artificially inflate the streams of the song, to make it look like the song was more popular than it was, and also use payola to promote the song, which they're not supposed to do. You see here, this practice known as payola is prohibited by the Communications Act of 1934 and has been the subject of regulatory scrutiny right here. So it is illegal to use payola, right? And UMG has a history of doing this because in 2006, UMG agreed to pay $12 million in a settlement following an investigation and accusing UMG of using payola. But first, let's get back into these claims that Drake has made against UMG. So Drake says petitioner is Drake, has learned of at least one UMG employee making payments to an independent radio promoter who agreed to transfer those payments to certain radio stations and or radio station employees to play Not Like Us. That's payola. Petitioner has been unable to confirm whether any iHeart radio stations were involved in the payola scheme. So UMG also directed its digital marketing team to use discretionary funds provided or reimbursed by UMG to pay unknown third parties to share the Not Like Us song and video. One whistleblower said that he was going to be paid to artificially inflate the streams by using bots. It's right here, number 15. Additionally, UMG took copyright restrictions off of the song right here so that influencers could talk about it on YouTube. You see what I was saying earlier? UMG, I don't know what you did to UMG, but they cannot stand you. Look at all the things they did to promote this song, to make sure that the song was a mega viral hit. And sure, in part, certainly you can blame UMG for a part of the song's virality, but the song was also viral because it was a great song. And people have been really waiting, in my opinion, not waiting, but Drake has done some corny things. He's had some corny behavior over the years, and I think people really wanted a giant to be taken down, and that was also a part of the popularity of the song. That he might have a claim against UMG for defamation, but he doesn't have enough factual support, so I really want to get into this part. Currently lacks factual support necessary to determine whether he may bring claims of civil fraud and racketeering against UMG and its many unidentified co-conspirators who violated payola laws and accepted illicit payments and other things of value from UMG without disclosure. And if you had any other questions about why Drake brought this lawsuit, he spells it out right here. Petitioner brings this action for a discrete and specific purpose: to understand whether and how UMG funneled payments to iHeartRadio and its radio stations as part of a payola pay-to-play scheme. That's it. Okay. Drake seems pretty confident about this, and why? He's obviously a part of UMG, has been a part of UMG for a while now. And why would he bring up these accusations and claims aside from getting these unknown and unidentified sources? If you read throughout that entire petition, the sources are unnamed and unidentified. The question becomes, has Drake been the beneficiary in the past of this payola? Has UMG used payola to promote and support Drake songs in the past, and now he's upset because this is what it looks like? It gives you're upset now that UMG used payola to promote Kendrick Lamar, and it was wildly successful because the song was a banger, and you don't like that you got the bad end of the stick. You liked when you were on top. So when people try to say that Drake is some hero trying to save the music industry, not at all. Not at all. Drake is a hypocrite if he has, and that's a big if, allegedly, all right? I don't want Drake's defense attorneys on here. That's a bit, because it's like, did you like the song because you like the song, or did you like the song because it was viral? I maintain that I like the song because I like the song. I think a lot of people like the song because they like the song and they played it and bumped it everywhere. But was it pushed a little bit? Were you prodded a little bit into playing that song, into liking that song, because you did begin to hear it everywhere and everybody was talking about it? Sounds like good marketing to me. I don't know. But yes, payola is against the law, so you're not supposed to use payola. And let's talk about some of the people who are going to have to be deposed. So this is a really powerful platform. This pre-suit deposition is a really powerful tool, because you get to go and you get to haul these people into court from you. Something else interesting I read about was that UMG said you should actually talk to and sue Kendrick Lamar, or file an action against Kendrick Lamar and not us, because he's the one who made those defamatory claims. But let's get into that in a moment. But who is Drake specifically asking to talk to? If you go here, page 9, paragraph 28, it says petitioner seeks an oral deposition of iHeartMedia via corporate representatives to investigate evidence of UMG's provision of financial benefits to iHeartMedia in exchange for obtaining airplay of Not Like Us. So corporate representatives of iHeartMedia, people who have some decision-making power, the higher ups, he wants to talk to them, people in charge of the finances, all of that. He also wants to talk to corporate representatives of UMG, again, higher ups, and give testimony under oath. Extremely powerful tool. I don't want you to get too bogged down by any of these legal terms. When I say deposition, I just mean a statement made under oath. And when you do talk about payola, traditionally you're talking about radio stations being paid to play a song, but the definition has changed and it's been updated to talk about influencers. Look at this in section 12. While historically, payola has been thought of in terms of paying radio stations to play songs, in February of 2020, the Federal Trade Commission released guidance stating that by paying an influencer to pretend that their endorsement or review is untainted by a financial relationship, this is illegal payola. And furthermore, they point to a specific organization, a specific podcast that they claim did this. So there's a podcast called NFR Podcast, which has nearly 300,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 330,000 followers on X, was paid to promote Not Like Us in its video without disclosing the payment. They also talk about tweets issued with respect to the song without disclosing the payment to the audience. And so I don't know what the podcast is going to have to say about that, because they are certainly on the hot seat now. But I want to make clear, Drake is not bringing legal action against these podcasts or against these influencers who were paid to promote the song. He is going after specifically UMG, iHeartRadio, whoever the individuals are who paid the influencers to promote these songs. So the influencers are safe for now. Let's get into this. Fans discover Siri plays Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us on Spotify when they ask for Drake's Certified Lover Boy. So basically there's a video. Actually, we can just play the video for you so you can get into what this allegation is.
I just saw somebody on Twitter request to play Certified Lover Boy on Spotify, and it just goes straight to Not Like Us. I don't believe everything I see online, so let's just test it out, okay? You're seeing my screen to a degree. All right. Play Certified Lover Boy on Spotify. Psst, I see dead people. That's crazy. Spotify. What's going on? Carl, I have questions. Is this just because of the lyrics in the song? What's going on here?
All right, so at first glance, looks suspicious, right? You ask Siri to play Certified Lover Boy by Drake, and it goes right into Not Like Us. Diabolical, especially since the song is a diss track against Drake. But what they did not include in the legal action, what Drake didn't include in his legal action, is that user, that video, the person who made that video came back on later and clarified what he thinks was happening.
I posted a video where if you ask Siri to play Certified Lover Boy on Spotify, it plays Not Like Us. And I did some research and figured it out because this is going viral. I saw Complex just reposted a version of it. It's going crazy on Twitter. They identify things using lyrics within the song. I'm assuming this feature is for people who don't know the name of a song, but they know the lyrics, and they ask Siri to play it, and Siri will use the AI to pick up like the genius lyrics in the background to play the song. So for example, I tried this. Siri, can you play Drop, 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 Drop on Spotify?
Maybe in this song, you shouldn't start by saying...
So it went to Family Matters by Drake. And then if you do this, Siri, can you play Wop, 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 Wop on Spotify? So there you have it. If you're ever looking for a song, you can find out what it's called on Spotify using your iPhone. But that being said, still hilarious.
How can you say that this was some conspiracy when that person who made that video even came back and clarified? Another part that was interesting is this payola allegation with the digital marketing team with this influencer, not even an influencer. Another part that was interesting was the $2,500 paid via digital platform Zelle. So somebody was paid $2,500 as an initial payment on Zelle to use bots to inflate the song, is what this whistleblower is saying. And this whistleblower, you can call that person a snitch. I'm going to say whistleblower. So somebody's saying, and we can pull it up right here, that they received $5,000 total to use the bots to run up the song, run up the streams, and then they were promised a percentage of the song's total sales for this initial push. And they said that someone from Interscope paid them this money. This is absolutely not what you're supposed to be doing, to use these bots to make people think that the song achieved more popularity than it did. Here's the argument, though, that they can make against that. So if there's this person at Interscope, and there are multiple arguments that Interscope can make, or UMG can make, if there's this person at Interscope that was paid another person $5,000 to inflate the streams, they're going to say either one, that person at Interscope is probably not a higher up at Interscope, because this is clearly against the what they're supposed to be doing, right? This is improper to be using bots and paying bots to inflate the song, and they know that. And so to do something so sloppy as to pay Zelle from an Interscope person, I doubt this was from an Interscope account. It sounds like this was probably someone's personal account. So number one, Interscope, UMG is going to be like, we didn't tell that person to do that. We don't know who that person is. Or if we do know who it is, it's someone lower down on the totem pole. We don't know why they took the initiative to do this. We did not ask them to do this. That is not on us. Number two, could say, or maybe they're thinking, they would never say this, but number two, maybe they were thinking, okay, we did this, sure, but what's the worst that can happen? They do a cost benefit analysis saying, okay, we improperly paid somebody $5,000. We got caught. Great. You got us. We'll pay a fine, because we'll pay you $10 million, $12 million, $14 million when we just got, $700 million richer from promoting the song and the song going crazy everywhere. Drake is also saying that UMG fired people who were loyal to Drake. Again, I think that's going to be an easy argument to disprove. It's really hard to prove that you got fired for being loyal to Drake. You know what I mean? Employers can say that someone got fired for any reason. Oh, you came in late too many times. Oh, you weren't dressed appropriately, whatever. A million reasons, a million things that an employer can find to say the reason that they fired you, aside from what you're saying, which is you had loyalty to Drake, and as a result, they had to let you go. They snipped, ho. And what about the RICO allegations? So this pre-suit action says that they want to investigate whether they have enough information to file a RICO. You can file a RICO civilly as opposed to criminally. So a criminal RICO, obviously you're going to jail, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Prosecutors file those. The government needs to file those against you. But you as an individual, as an entity, can file a civil RICO against another person. RICO has gotten out of control. I don't want her in the room with us anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I feel like people are using RICO way too much, whipping it out at a moment's notice. It's too much. But if we look further into this, it says here, paragraph 27, petitioner seeks information regarding RICO, and 2, identifying appropriate defendants and frame a complaint for a section under deceptive. So they're looking at RICO, and they're also looking at deceptive business practices and false advertising, right? Inflating the song, making the song look like it's more popular than it is. And when we talked earlier about the Zelle payments, it's going to be important because that constitutes wire fraud, right? That's what they're going to say. So to be clear, Drake hasn't filed a lawsuit against anybody, but it's really interesting that he didn't even file a defamation suit against Kendrick Lamar when Kendrick Lamar was the one in the song who said you are a PDF file, right? He talks about UMG, Universal Music Group, producing and promoting a song that contains lies about him, has not yet filed any defamatory or defamation suits against UMG either. And so I think that's interesting. Is it because he doesn't want to open himself up to discovery regarding the allegations? I don't know. Also, in either one of Drake's songs, in one of the rap battle songs, didn't he say that he was feeding information? Well, did you feed the false information in order to set a trap? Is that what you're trying to say? Or what's going on with that? I'm so confused by all of that. But ultimately, I think it's really, really interesting that he has not filed a defamation suit. UMG has said that instead of suing us, you need to probably sue Kendrick Lamar. Allegedly, this is all alleged based on articles and things that I've read. And UMG has even said, hey, if you try to sue us, we're going to sue Kendrick and we're going to bring him into this lawsuit. So that's messy as well. As far as next steps, what can happen here is that the parties can resolve this amicably. They can meet, they can settle. If this is all just a ploy to get Drake out of his contract with UMG, I could certainly see that happening. He has most definitely made UMG many millions of dollars. He's probably well past whatever advance he received to be in that contract. And so if he wants to get released, this is probably a way to get released or not. If they want to spite him and be like, nah, you are a bitch now, I could see that happening as well. So that is a summary of the legal filings. I'm Alicia. I'm a lawyer in Atlanta, Georgia. You can book with me at the Calendly link in the description. But what do you guys think about this legal action? Let me know in the comment section.